千里之行，始于足下. A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we take a deep dive into the Daodejing by Lao Zi. Here, you're going to see the slide, New Year rice cake. And you're going to see this image with a couple of Chinese characters, 年糕. The character to the left, 年, that means year. Specifically here, it means New Year celebration, New Year feast. And the character on the right, 糕, that means cake. In this case, cake that's made from rice. So this story is called New Year Rice Cake. Let me share it with you. Once upon a time, in ancient China, there was a family that was busy making preparations, getting ready to celebrate the Chinese New Year, which was coming right up. So for this particular year, the family was expecting many visiting relatives. It was traditional within this family to have that New Year's gathering for everyone to be together and enjoy the traditional New Year feast. Everybody was looking forward to that. And that is why, in anticipation of this big event, the entire household, including the housewife, was busy making preparations. In particular, the housewife started her preparations well in advance, planning and cooking the dishes. So then on the day before the big family gathering, she prepared and cooked her specialty. She was known for this, the New Year rice cake. So she got it done. It was piping hot. It needed to cool off. But then looking around in the very cluttered kitchen, because of so many preparations going on, there was no place to set the rice cake aside. So she picked a corner of the room, the kitchen, and set it on the floor to let it cool off there. Then she turned her attention to the next dish. She proceeded to prepare the next one. She had a whole plan. Now, her husband did not know, was not aware that she had already completed the rice cake and had set it aside in one corner on the ground to cool off. So he came through the kitchen, walking, not expecting anything to be underfoot. He stumbled and unfortunately, he stepped right on the rice cake. He planted one foot firmly on the cake. Startled, he said, "Oh, I am so sorry. This is all my fault. Look at this mess." Now, his sister, who had been helping out in the kitchen, turned, noticed the situation, and said, "No, brother, it's actually my fault. I almost stepped on it myself just a moment ago, coming in and out. I did not pause for a moment to move it aside, even though I noticed that it was there. If I had done that, this would not have happened. You would not be stepping on it." And hearing the commotion, the elderly father came into the kitchen, saw the situation, and said, "Well, actually, it's my fault. I came through the chicken several times already, much earlier, and I noticed the rice cake should have been moved. It didn't even occur to me to move it. I didn't even think of it." And the wife said, "No, wait, everybody. It's actually my fault because I put it there. If I put it somewhere else in the first place, all of this could have been avoided." Nobody blamed anybody else. Everyone owned up to their shared responsibility, accountability. Everyone, all members of the family, showed their consideration for one another. They quickly regrouped, rallied, they worked together to clean up the mess, and then they started over on the rice cake. The most important thing was the family, everybody in the family, all of them, they maintained the festive atmosphere for their preparation of the New Year celebration. In handling the problem together, they strengthened the bond that they had within the family. They became closer from the shared experience. Years later, recalling this event, they would talk about the incident, they would laugh about it, they would say things like, hey, remember that time when the rice cake came out perfect, but then it got stepped on? Remember that? And they could share a laugh thinking about the past. But hey, the story could have easily gone the other way. Not the way that it went down, but maybe a negative path. How could it turn out if, after the rice cake was stepped on, there was much commotion, yelling and screaming, finger pointing? You can easily imagine that the following could have taken place instead. Like the husband seeing the sticky, gooey cake on his foot, yelled out, "Hey, who put that rice cake there?" His sister, seeing the ruined cake, would exclaim that, "Oh no, look at the cake. What have you done?" At this, the husband reacted defensively. "What? Me? How was I to know it would be in the way like this?" The elderly father, coming in, said to the sister, "Hey, you saw the cake there a while back. I know you did. Why didn't you move it somewhere else? This is your fault." Then perhaps the husband turned to the wife. "Congratulations, you ruined our New Year celebration. Well done, well done." Now, this would get the wife, as you can imagine, extremely angry. "Oh, I see. So it's my fault now for what you did?" You can see it's a completely different scenario. Things could quickly go south. Escalating temper, anger, shouting match, mutual recrimination, accusations, everybody pointing fingers. The joy and happiness that could be present in the family will be gone. Harmony that could be present in the family will be evaporated into thin air. Then, after that, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to build that harmony back up again. So this was a story about a family, but it can easily apply to all of our interactions with other people. Let me make sure that we don't lose the essence of the story and point out a couple of things. In the story, we saw two possible paths. There was the positive path that was taken, and then there's the potential negative path that could also be taken. So the two paths were contention or harmony. May I just point out that much of our lives is just like that. The path you follow can pivot on a single decision. A single decision point can make all the difference in the world, and that decision can pivot on an instant. The difference that you make in an instant can elaborate out into something completely different, a different experience, whether it's joy or anger, harmony or contention and discord. So then the important question is, when we see that, when we experience that, how do we choose the right path? Can we learn from this particular story to help us go down the path of harmony? So the answer is yes, it's possible. We can learn from the way that the family members reacted initially to one another. Number one, express appreciation for those who put in the work. So within the heart of the members of this family, they appreciated all the work that was going on. They contributed to the work, they did their share. They knew that it wasn't easy, and they knew they needed to support one another. So number one is appreciation. It's gratitude. It's being grateful that you have people around you that you can trust, that you can work with, that can continue on the path of your life with you. Number two, members of the family, they took personal responsibility because they saw the overall responsibility for preparing the feast as a shared responsibility. This is what we can also do when we encounter a potentially contentious situation, that we want to remind ourselves to be part of the solution, not be part of the problem. As you saw, when family members started pointing fingers at one another, they all became part of the problem, not the solution. So responsibility is the second part. So then a third aspect of it has to do with respect. So every member of the family was willing to do more than their share. And it wasn't a situation like, well, I've done what I had to do. What the rest is all up to you. I'm done. No, they were all willing to do more. They were all willing to go the extra mile. And this is out of their mutual respect for one another. So if you think about the third factor, respect, along with responsibility and appreciation, these are all elements in harmony. These are all elements that lead to harmony. These are all elements to be understood in order to fully comprehend the Tao concept of harmony. So then we reference back to the line that started us down this road to discuss this particular family and their New Year preparations. Knowing harmony is said to be constancy. This means if you want to comprehend the Tao, the constant Tao, the eternal Tao, you have to start by comprehending harmony, by really knowing it, not just intellectually, but with your entire being. In an instant, you can create harmony or contention that underscores the importance of that decision you can make. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Let us all travel safely so we can meet again. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.